Hello and welcome to another video on Git. In this video I'm going to present a very simple workflow you can follow with your team in any project you encounter, any software development project you encounter, whether it's in university or outside of education. The purpose of a workflow is so that you yourself along with your teammates can work productively and efficiently in order to produce code and features and fix bugs, so we minimize the amount of conflicts we have in a project. That's essentially what we want from a workflow. Um, we want a protocol developers can follow in order to contribute new features and fix bugs in some code base. In practice, this is usually set up by a team lead. A document is written up and is usually developed before actually starting writing code on a project. So in this video, we're going to imagine a scenario where I'm a developer and I want to start a new feature, whether it's on a work feature or it's an assignment feature in a collaborative environment. So here is my directory with my project in it. It's already got Git already on it. There's a bunch of logs already on it as well. And my GitHub repository is over here. So there's a total of 31 commits with example project. So the first thing you want to do when you've opened up your terminal, you're in your directory, is you want to make sure your master branch is always up to date with your remote branch. Or your local master branch is up to date with the remote master branch. In this case it is. So before you start any development work, you always want to run a git pull and ensure your master is up to date. In this case, everything is good. Okay, now we've decided we want to start development, and in this case we want to, instead of working a master, we want to check out to a different branch. So let's check out to a different branch, and usually you want to call it a name relating to the feature you're working on. So it could be new button, or it could even be the user story ID. You can call your branch name that. It's really up to you. Just make sure it's obvious what it refers to, and you don't want to make it overly too long and complex. So I'm going to call it feature for now. You can probably think of a better name, especially if you're working on a specific project. So I've created and checked out to a new feature branch, and in this branch I'm going to work on my project. So while developing, there are really three main things you want to be doing. First step is you write code as normal. So you write code, solve the problem as normal, commit when necessary, and of course add your files if you need new files. So the first step is kind of common sense. We all do this every time. Periodically, what you want to do is update your master branch. So from time to time, you want to check out back into master and run git pull from time to time to make sure you're not missing any updates. Or you can do a git fetch and merge as well. So let's go back into our feature branch. Let's suppose we've added a few lines to our file. So I'm going to add a few lines up here. Let's save and let's commit, and let's say that's it. I'm finished my feature, and now I'm ready to kind of I'm ready to merge it back into master. I'm finished the feature. So before you want to do that, again, you want to update your master branch, and then you have a choice. You can either rebase or you can merge master into your development branch, and of course resolving any conflicts you get. So let's simulate a change being added to master through the GitHub UI. So let's suppose this change is being made by another developer on the team, and they've added it to the end of the file, and they've committed the change. And I've just finished my feature. What I need to do, and make sure you form this as a habit, go back into master, git pull, and this will download and merge the changes onto my master branch. If you're working just using development branches, you shouldn't get any merge conflicts on master. Okay, so if you do have merge conflicts on master, you've done something very wrong. Let's check out into feature, and again we have two options. We can either perform a git rebase, we can rebase master onto our branch, or we can merge into master. So we can merge master into our branch. So I'm going to go with the merge. And of course we confirm the merge. And there we go, we've got a recursive strategy merge. So you can think about why we had a recursive strategy merge. Okay, so now that my feature branch has all the changes in master and it's updated with it, now we're ready to kind of push our change to production, or it's finished and ready to be merged into the main, like into the master branch. So what you want to do now is go back into master, and now you have a choice. You have a choice. So we finished this part, and now we're going into development. We can either merge our change directly, so doing a git merge with our branch name like this. But this, what it will do is eliminate any sort of collaborative element. So if I do this and then push, and then after doing this, I do a git push to origin master, this will ruin any kind of collaborative elements, and I'm just pushing code without having anyone reviewed my code, or they don't even know what I've pushed. So we want other developers in the collaborative process in case we've accidentally introduced bugs, or we've not following any code style policies, or we've implemented a function inefficiently. We want comments from different developers in order to improve our commit, so that we reduce code redundancy and we reduce code debt in the future. So instead of doing this, you might want to do this when you're working solo and not working with other developers, but instead of pushing directly to master, what you want to do is you want to push to a remote branch with the same name as your development branch. So in this case, I'm going to push to a branch called feature. So this will still push my code to the remote repository. And in many cases on some teams, you won't be able to even do this line. This line might be disabled and only can be done by a designated member of the team, in most cases the team leader. So now I've pushed my feature to a remote branch called feature. I want to do what's called, let's go back to example project. I want to perform what's called a pull request. So let's create a new pull request, and we designate our feature. And what a pull request will do is notify developers, contributors on my team that I'm ready to, I finished the feature and it's ready to be merged, and I need everybody to review it. I need some comments and feedback on the code. So it's kind of like an open forum where people can comment on your code and specify places for improvement, etc. So as part of the pull request, you can leave a comment, so you can put in detail what you exactly have implemented, maybe some screenshots, and maybe a step-by-step process on how to actually see the change if you run the application. You can add specific reviewers to the project. You can assign who is involved in writing the code over here. You can also put labels, so if it's a bug or if it's an enhancement, so a feature or some help, if you need some help or a question, etc. You can specify what project it is and what milestone it's contributing towards. So once we're done, let's just leave a random comment. We can then create the pull request. Before creating the pull request, there's a few other things we can see. We can see the commits that are all part of this pull request, as well as the exact code we've added. So let's create the pull request. So in practice, other people will be able to see this pull request and be able to provide comments. So they may be able to go into the files change tab and add comments to the code. So they can press plus and leave a comment over here. They can also so they leave a comment, or they can approve the changes. And you may you're able to add policies to your GitHub project that says pull requests can only be merged if you approve, if it's approved by other developers. Let's go back to our pull request. So let's suppose it's been approved by everybody. What we can do now is GitHub will tell us if we can automatically merge the pull request, so with this button over here, or it gives us the command line instructions. And the command line instructions is, as I showed you from before. In this case, the merge can be performed by yourself or the team lead, so that you could designate the team lead to do all merges, so there's only one single point of failure if something goes wrong. So I'm going to use the UI and do a manual merge. We could have easily done it from the terminal. So the pull request is done. The feature has been merged into master. I can also delete this branch. And if I go back into my master branch, I can git pull the changes. And I've got the new changes. So to summarize, after you've developed your code, we can check out into master and merge directly into our master branch and then push. Or if you have that kind of restricted on GitHub, you can submit a pull request, adding reviewers, awaiting approval, and then you can adjust the comments on review, commit code to fix up stuff that people have commented on, etc. And once it's been approved by everybody, either yourself can merge the change directly, or the team lead will be responsible for merging the change. It really depends on the team policy, and before you start any project, you want to kind of outline exactly what policy you want to follow. Now notice this is a long process to follow, so the productivity and efficiency of a development team really depends on how quickly and how quickly we can address pull requests. So I would suggest trying to resolve pull requests as soon as possible, but not rushing through them. So not approving everything because you want to push features as fast as possible. And that's all for this video, and thank you very much for watching.